What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel with your man Wise. And today we got to talk about him, man. Scott Jennings is at it again, cooking another panel of emotional, moronic Democrats. We got a couple clips to get into. And up first, the left, I tell you, they will not let this scandal, this signal scandal go. They think they finally got something on President Trump or the administration, and they are holding on for dear life. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Turn those notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Let's get into it.
The President of the United States has spent his first 2 months in office trying out a new tactic to not answer questions from reporters. The tactic, feign ignorance.
I know nothing about it. I did not. I know nothing about that.
I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it.
I don't know anything about Signal. I wasn't involved in this. I wasn't involved with it. I wasn't there.
Nothing classified was shared.
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the various people involved. I really don't know.
Have you been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't.
I don't know.
Near me.
He wasn't involved in the Signal thing. He was not involved in it.
But there's a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know.
Well, how is he supposed to know about it if he wasn't involved in it?
Seriously, I do think that the fact that the President of the United States was not briefed on 4 missing soldiers, I mean, having been in a White House, that is something you would brief. So I don't know, maybe Mike Waltz was pretty busy those last couple of days, but somebody should have briefed the president on that. I do think it's like just a little odd that he says he doesn't know anything about things that he's actually supposedly signed. Maybe he signed it via AutoPen or something else. But he definitely has I mean, he has signed proclamations, and then he says, I don't know anything about that. That is also a serious problem.
I'd rather have him act like he doesn't know about something, which I'm sure he probably does know about some of this stuff, than not talk to the press at all. I mean, he's the most accessible president that I've ever seen in modern history. I mean, your boss never talked to the media ever.
I think, look, I totally hear the point. People should talk to the press a lot. It's just you're not actually conveying information if you don't know anything about anything going on.
I would rather the president just get on TV and say, I don't know, than as opposed to some of the other stuff that he's said in the past when he's pretending to know. So just say, I don't know.
But maybe he should know some of these things.
I'm saying he should know.
Can I just go back, though, from a security perspective? He probably, especially on the soldiers, he probably knows, but by the way, that's still an active national security issue for our military, so he probably can't, I mean, to his defense on that, he probably can't comment on it.
Okay.
Or shouldn't until you have all the facts. I mean, that's the thing about being
the
president is, when you go talking out of your ass, things happen. And so maybe you shouldn't. I mean, maybe it's
Or
smart.
he could say, presidents, like President Bush or Obama or others would have said, I'm aware, I'm not going to say anymore because it's an active issue. That's what they say. He said, I don't know what you're talking about.
I
That's a different thing.
that he could tell you exactly how many woke professors are in the country, or how many boys is playing girls volleyball, or how many quote-unquote illegal aliens came in yesterday. He focuses on what he wants to focus on, and this ain't one of them.
All good things to know, by the way.
Just saying, he may be making some of that shit up.
So
You died.
selective ignorance, you're saying.
I've used it to my advantage many times.
People buy it.
Just like selective hearing.
I'll say this. I would rather have a leader that says, I don't know, than try to make up some stuff and be wrong later down the line. And now you got to go back and say, oh, yeah, either I was lying or I didn't know. And then they'll have to turn around and ask you, well, why did you say something in the first place? So it's better to say, you know what, I don't know. And I'm assuming that when he gets the answers, when he is briefed, he'll let you guys know and he'll let the American people know. I mean, and this lady in the blue, man, she's something else. Let's keep going.
The signal thing is interesting, though, because from the very beginning, his ignorance there seemed to be deliberate. He was not on that signal chain, but the idea that he didn't know about it when he was first asked about it and the extent to which he doesn't know seems rather deliberate. Yes?
He wants to be associated with things that are positive. That's who Donald Trump is. And that's what makes him a communications genius. And I use the word genius when it comes to communication, not public policy or public welfare. But he knows how to communicate. And when it's negative, he's like, what, me? Don't know nothing about that. Let's talk about some tariffs or something that's good for somebody.
Would you, if he didn't know and he didn't have the facts or he hadn't been briefed on it, what is the alternative here? To go out and make something up or to say, I don't know. I haven't been told. And my understanding is he didn't know about it. He wasn't on it. Maybe he wasn't even aware what signal is. I mean, it is not inconceivable that the president, when I didn't see the timestamps on these questions, didn't actually have enough information to comment publicly at the time on any of these matters. It's not out of the ordinary for a president to hold back until they have all the facts or all the things they need to know to make a legitimate comment.
Or what would be more concerning, and I think this might be more concerning with the soldiers, or they're not telling him and they're not actually sharing information, or they worry about what he'll say, so they preserve it. You know, I mean, I think this is a deeply kind of disturbing thing on basic information. On some political issue, I totally understand. I can even understand perhaps plausible deniability about Signalgate. But I think on national security issues, like issues where soldiers are possibly lost, it is pretty inexcusable that he has not been briefed and he can't speak to it.
And what's worse, a president not having all the information he needs to make a legitimate comment, so he holds back in the moment before being ready to make a comment, or, I don't know, willfully lying to the American people about the condition of the President of the United States, which went on for 4 years in this country by all of your colleagues.
Totally wrong.
What's
that
worse?
is totally
What's worse?
wrong. That
What's
is
worse?
totally wrong.
I hope you read all the books that are coming out. I hope you read all the books that are coming out.
Joe Biden, when asked about soldiers lost, was briefed and said it. And so you think Joe Biden had problems? At least he was able to do that. What's the excuse for Donald Trump if he's so capable?
I'm just saying.
I mean,
you guys
I don't
are
know if you're a
upset
judge.
that
If
Trump
you're a
is
judge,
exhibiting some, I want to get more facts, and I'm going to be lectured by the people who lied to the American people about the condition of the president.
Oh my God!
No way.
No, but
not going to take it.
That's first of all, that's outrageous.
Is
That's
it?
outrageous. Yes, it is.
You
I
think
did
the
not
truth was
lie.
told? You think the truth was told?
I will say.
Did the White
and
House tell the truth?
To this.
Scott,
I
even
will
if
look
that
forward
was
to this discussion.
Do you all believe the truth was told about Biden?
Scott, do you want government or do you want your lick back? Because even if all of that happened in the past, we're in the present now. So we need a president that is capable.
And so
and
what? He said,
competent.
I don't know. What, did it hurt your life that he said, I don't know? One time?
Biden did it. Biden did it.
Sure,
Biden
I
did
can.
it. But you
Of
cannot
course I
write
can.
that for 4 years.
I absolutely
and expect
can.
the country to move
I
forward.
100% can.
You cannot.
Biden wrote it for 4 years on Trump, and Obama wrote it for 8 years on George W. Bush. You're damn right. We were right.
years is that?
It's just a
know
little
he was gonna be mad.
inconsistent to say it's wrong with one and the other. That's the point.
I'm just
That's
saying.
the point.
I'm just saying.
It's
It
just the
seems like
point.
selective outrage to me to say, well, we're worried about Donald Trump not knowing.
I think all of us who've ever met or been around Donald Trump knows that if somebody would have told him soldiers were missing, and if he would have been briefed on that, and then a reporter asked about him, because he does this with every other thing that he does, he'd have went, we're going to find them, we're going to kick whoever's ass is messing with them, and we're going to burn everything down around them if they don't bring them back right now.
Well, then he should have been told.
I mean, Trump.
I'm saying, we know that's how he would respond if he knew about
then
it.
he
And to
should have
that
been
point,
told.
Trump would then start blabbering some of the secrets on the back. We're going to find them. We're going to get them SEAL Team 6s in there right now. They're in
This is
a
my point.
Black Hawk helicopter. It's
This
at
is my
300 feet. It's going in longitude. And
yeah.
he would say
I
too
don't
much.
think-
So maybe you can't tell me.
That's a little worse. If
Wordwood's a clown. He is. He's a comedian, and I guess he's there to bring, some sense of, comedic relief, but he's a clown. He is. I would assume that the president has not been briefed, and he chose not to make a statement on it. And once he's briefed and he has a full understanding of what's going on, he will definitely make it be known and give a briefing to the American people. I mean, he has been, hands down, the most transparent president that we've had, at least in my lifetime. So, hey, or at least, as my time as an adult, I don't want to say my lifetime, but my time as an adult, voting, being in tune and being involved in what's going on politically, he's been extremely transparent. These people are they're nitpicking. And to be honest with you, man, after years of gaslighting, I mean, come on, man. Biden was only removed through a staged coup and when they could no longer hide it. So you got this lady in the blue over here who just acts like this was hands down, one of the most transparent and Biden was just strong and he was just standing on business. We didn't see the guy for daggone 6 months. And when it comes to accountability, this administration, when you start talking about the Hunter laptop and the Afghanistan disaster and the list goes on and on and on, no one on that side of things had a whole lot to say. Meanwhile, Trump, he owned up to the signal breach and brought in Elon's team to investigate. Something Biden never did when it came to BLM or the J6 riots, so forth and so on. I mean, stop it, man. Stop it. There is a clear double standard with these people. Clear double standard. But let's keep it moving.
There is a groundswell of excitement with Democrats. You can judge one special election against another. It's not the November election, and Donald Trump won. Donald Trump carried all the battleground states, but two things can be right at the same time. And that is right now, 2 nights ago in Pennsylvania, there was a special election for a state Senate seat that Donald Trump carried by 15 points that the Democrats won in a special election. That's just one election. There's a Florida election coming up Tuesday night and a Wisconsin Supreme
race.
Court coming up, and you're going to see a groundswell there as well. The Stefanik race is a 60-40 Trump race. She won it handily, he won it handily. And if they're worried about that congressional race because they have a slim margin, so they don't want to give it up, and they think she can strongly carry it instead of somebody new, if she's there, think about all the other races that didn't perform as good as hers, and there's 128 races that didn't perform as good as hers that you have to get to before you even get to her, so there's an opportunity there if they're worried about this safe red seat.
I'll tell you what has surprised me in the reporting is they're not just concerned about keeping that slim majority in Congress if she vacates the seat, if the seat is open, that they are actually nervous about, in a special election, losing that race.
Right, and
there does seem to be genuine fear.
And in upstate New York, we should say this about New York and give Republicans credit for this as a Democratic strategist. Republicans did better in New York and California in the last election than they ever have done.
Yes.
So the thing was moving in the right direction, but 2 Democrats flipped Republican seats at the same time, 2 Democrat from Republican.
Here's something that's true right now. I think you would acknowledge this. Democrats have a turnout advantage in special elections, off-year elections. Democrats turn out for these things more than Republicans. Now, Republicans turned out well for the presidential. We did great in 2024, but we have seen instances over the last few years where Republicans just don't get up for these off-cycle elections. And so, it makes a difference. And so the political strategy here is absolutely correct. Elise will win easily when she runs for re-election next year. She's terrific, by the way, and politics is a team sport, and she's a team player. Trump's the party boss. He made the right call. It's tough for her, and she earned this position. I hate it for her, but it's what's best for the party, and she did it.
It's tough for her. It really sucks for her. I mean, she gave up her leadership position
done a farewell
in
tour.
Congress. She's doing a farewell tour. She doesn't
And
have
all
her
her
committee
staff.
posts.
She doesn't have the
Or
committee.
staff.
She
I
doesn't
didn't
have.
even
Yeah,
have staff.
she
That's
left.
even more
She
horrible.
all of her staff.
Right.
She doesn't have the leadership position anymore. I mean, you and I both worked with her during their Bush years. I mean, it sucks for her. I mean, and there's no other better way to put it. I mean, and she is a team player, and this isn't another cabinet secretary that needed to happen, like Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Treasury, and so they need her in the House. And also, to pass these bills now, probably in September, in regards to reconciliation, they're going to need her vote.
I mean, let's be clear what happened here. They thought this race would be a cakewalk. That's why they pulled her into this nomination, right? They thought a 60-40 race would be easy to win. And Scott is absolutely right. Democrats have done better in turnout and off years, but not by 16 points from 2 days ago, not by 20 points in upstate, like in a place like upstate New York, which is a pretty conservative place. So I actually think the fact that I've been pretty negative on some of these races, but the fact that they're basically making her do this career faceplant, which is really harsh to her, in order to save this one seat that just a few months ago they thought was going to be easy breezy. That's telling us the ground has really shifted. And I do think it's because of things like we've discussed, the Doge attacks, other things are really motivating Democratic voters.
Apparently, Donald Trump, the president, is really mad at Michael Waltz for all of this, even though he doesn't represent New York, because it has to do with Florida. The Florida race, Michael Waltz's seat, which we'll probably say with the Republicans is way closer than it should be. I just want to go back to what we were talking about in the last block and bring you all back into the discussion. Elon Musk did this interview on Fox News with all of his people at Doge. The one person apparently who wasn't there, the person who is technically, the president swears, running Doge, the administrator, Amy Gleason. We put her picture back up on the screen before. She wasn't part of that group interview with Elon Musk.
She didn't know that the meeting was happening. Maybe she's not in the signal chat.
Or maybe Doge got to her. I mean, maybe she hasn't found out yet that her job is gone.
That sounds like some fraud that someone should look at.
But it is interesting that they all sat down there, and the person that legally, I mean, they've been in court, the Trump administration has been in court saying that she's running it, that she wasn't there.
In the White House, there's a chief of staff. Her name is Susie Wiles. There's also a press secretary, Ms. Levitt. Levitt speaks to the press every day. Susie doesn't. Does that mean Susie is not in charge of the White House? Not everybody does PR. Not everybody does communications. And so I don't know what she does on a daily basis. I know what the documents say. I know Elon Musk is the spirit animal of this thing. And that's the person people need to hear from. And this team that he's brought in of geniuses, people need to hear from them too. I agree with what you said earlier. It's good PR for them to go out and talk to the American people operationally about what they're doing. And he's
people-
largely viewed as the godfather of this effort. Talk to the press.
We have heard from this Godfather spirit animal for the last 2 months. Where is Amy? I want the supervisor.
Would that make you
to
happy?
Man, that dude's a clown, man. That dude's a clown. He is. But Scott, he said it all. He said it all. Not everyone needs, not everyone wants to be in the spotlight. The chief of staff, she definitely does not want to be in the spotlight. That was proven on election night. She doesn't want any parts of it. She's a hard worker. She wants to do her job. And I would assume that this young lady probably feels the same exact way. You know, some of the smartest people that I know, do their best work behind the scenes. They don't need the press. They don't need the credit. They're not looking for it. They're all about results. Simple as that. I mean, when you look at this Doge team, I mean, these kids, they're not even chasing fame. If it was up to them, they probably would not have done this. Let's just keep it real. They're not chasing fame. And they only speak when it matters. They only speak, honestly, when Elon tells them that they probably should. Let's get out here and do this. And it makes sense for them to get out here, sit down, do an interview, and really tell the masses, hey, this is what we found out. This is what we've uncovered. You know, it's not just fraud. It's not just waste. It is systemic corruption on a level that is unbelievable, to say the least. It really is. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on so you never miss an upload. I appreciate the support, the love. If you'd like to go the extra mile, join the ARP family, or you can buy your man a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so